All right, class. This is another discussion. Now, we've been discussing linked lists, I know. We're actually going to dumb this down a little bit because there's a portion of the project you're going to be working on where you're going to have to do something a little different than what we've been doing and add it to our previous projects. Now, normally I would have something like, we would go with numbers and then we talk about how to deal with objects. But linked lists are already dealing with objects, believe it or not. A node is an object. It has an integer on it, it has a next. So there's really not a huge difference between what we were doing, what you're going to have to do here, except we're going to discuss how to sort strings. Now, for this, there's really nothing to import or do. You just have to make a project and make a couple of strings. I've got two, Bob and Scott. Now, we could do this a couple of different ways. I could uh, go in and basically say, take the first character. Each character has its own ASCII value in the ASCII table. They are in alphabetical order, although capital is first, I think, and then lowercase, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, so a capital letter has precedence over a lowercase letter. So like capital Z would be better, higher up than a lowercase a or something. That would be the only problem. You'd have to have it ignore the case. But we're going to use the Compareto method. Now I'm going to show you what this does. Now, first and foremost, let's just comment out everything here and look at that first line. I have two strings that I'm just printing out. Name1 compares to ignore case name2. Just in case there's a capital letter there, that's different. And what we got is -17. Now we talked about the ASCII value. This is effectively the difference between the ASCII values. So if name1 is smaller than name2, it's supposed to go first. If name1 compared to name2 is less than 0, well then we're going to print it off. So basically, uh, hang on a second. Negative value means name1 goes in front of name2. Positive value means name1 goes after. So it's the order in which I compare. If I swap this around, 2 to 1, you're going to see a +17 instead of a negative. So it's just telling you where that first number goes, basically. Is this greater than that? If it's negative, then, well, as you can see, negative means this goes in front. So yes, this is smaller than that. Now if we look at the actual code, let's take a little quick look here. Okay, here we are, and I think I've left you off too. There we go. So let's run this just real quick, and Bob goes first, Scott goes second. So what does this say? If name1 compared to ignore case name2 is less than 0, then I just print this one goes first, that one doesn't. Otherwise, it goes the other way around. That's what this basically does. Now if I adjust some of these, let's say I make this capital B, well, it shouldn't matter. It's still -17. It's ignoring the case. If I make this Zod, or Zob in this case, 7 is the difference now instead of negative. So in this case, Scott goes first, Zob goes second. So it rearranged it, if you notice that. If I say Bob, and you can play around with this, you'll see it's negative, Bob goes first. This basically tells you the order in which you're trying to do things here. This is, at least with strings, this tells you how you can basically alphabetically do strings. Or one version of it, I would say. And this is particularly useful because it's, comparing the whole thing, basically. As I said before, I could, of course, go in and just take the first character, dot char at, and I could also, compare those two. And just convert them all to lowercase. It doesn't matter. And I could do basically the same thing. There are a couple of different ways to do this. This is just one of those ways. The other way would be, let's see if I could just, if name1 dot char at 0 is greater than name2 dot char at 0, I would say, in this case, 1 plus is first. Else name2 is first. And we do a quick run. Oh, wait. Bob goes first. Let's see, what did I do? If name1 dot char at 0, B. And I didn't actually tell it to ignore the case or anything, did I? Oh, is greater than, whoops, less than. That's what I meant to do. Bob is first. Now, of course, if I capitalize a letter without checking the cases, you see S has the higher priority in the ASCII table. So I don't think char name1 dot to lower case dot char at. So I could add this in here if I wanted to, and still do effectively the same thing. And now it wouldn't matter if I made that a capital S or not. Should say Bob now. So those are two particularly different ways I could go in and basically sort strings. And that's useful if we have some sort of alphabetical list, a name list, or anything like that that we need to do. And whichever one you prefer, I mean, you could use either or. Effectively, I'm kind of doing the same thing for both of these. One's a little longer, one's a little shorter. It really doesn't matter. Like I said, they both kind of do the same thing. And so I'm giving you two options here, if you so chose, to actually use. So again, this code from top to bottom. There's the main. Couple of strings, and again, play around with some strings. Oh, here's a quick, what if I put in a number? Well, in the ASCII table, numbers come before any words or anything like that. So numbers would come first. Now, if I didn't want numbers in there, there is a isNumeric, I think, function that can check if a string's numeric or something like that. I can check each individual character probably and see if it's numeric. There's some functions built in the Java for that. But for what we're doing, it doesn't really matter. I'm not that worried or fussed about numbers. So this is sorting strings. Hope you get the idea. And if you need any help, just let me know.